Hi, this is Mark Bridge with the Itasca School of Folk Music, and in this video we will be discussing movable chords, otherwise known as chord inversions. First chord we discuss is going to be the bar chord. It's probably the simplest chord there is to play. All you really need to do, if you listen to the banjo, for that open G, you're just going to pinch down on all four of those strings. Now if you watch what's happening here, we're going to push down on the second fret. There's our open G on the banjo. If we push down on that second fret, that has changed it to an A. Now that will move all over the neck, making it a movable chord. There's an A, B flat, B, C, on up. So that first movable chord formation will be the bar chord, where you're just depressing on all four of those strings. Okay, now we're going to introduce two more chord formations that will move all over the neck. And we want to remember that movable chords need to be closed chords, meaning that you're pushing down on all four strings. You don't want any open strings or everything's going to get kind of out of whack. So let's discuss how to build what we would call the F formation. For that, we would use our index finger and depress on the second string, first fret. We're going to depress on the third string, second fret. Depress on the fourth string, third fret. And then that little finger is going to go on the first string, third fret. That would be an F formation. Now, to play the D formation, all a person needs to do is switch your index and your middle finger, just like that. See that flip? F formation, D formation, F, D, F, D. Now, as you can see, just like the bar chord we just discussed, that F formation will move all over the neck. There's an F, there's a G. So will that D formation. Those are the other two chord formations we'll be discussing in movable chords. Okay, now that we've discussed the three primary chord formations, let's talk about how you would use those while playing. There's actually some little patterns you can use with these chord formations so you're always playing the right chords. Okay? If we look at the bar chords first, if you look at an open G and consider the fact that the primary chords in the key of G are G, C, and D, let's look at something here. Here's our G, open. If we go up 5 frets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the C, go up 2 or plus 2. There's that D. So if you go open, 5, 7, those are the three chords you need to play in the key of G. Now, of course, sometimes there'd be an A thrown in, depending on the song or whatever. But that also is going to work for every other key. If you look at playing an A, there's our A. Now, if we go up 5 frets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's our D. Plus 2, our rule there. There's an E. So A, 5 frets, and 7. Okay, what happens if someone wants to play in B flat? Okay, well here we go, there's our B flat. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And up 2. That way you're always going to hit 3 chords you need to play. C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F, plus 2, or up to 7. There's the G. That is the pattern you use while playing bar chords in movable formations to hit the 3 chords you need while playing. Okay, now let's look at another formation. We're going to zoom in here a little bit so we can see my hand working. Let's play an A again, but this time we're going to move that D formation into a pattern. Okay, so if we start on our A, bar chord, 3 chords in the key of A are A, D, and E. So what we're going to do, we're going to work that D formation in. So if we start on our A, then we're going to move to the D formation right there. And that's still based off of that 2nd fret. Your index finger's there. There we have our D. And there's the plus 2 rule. We go up 2. There we have the E. So we start on A. Off of that fret. D. E. Let's try that up there in the C. If we started with the C, F, G. There's the 3 chords you need to play in C or any other key. So that's based off of the bar chord. Index finger is going to stay on that same fret, go to the D formation, and up 2. There's that 2nd pattern that'll work all over the neck. Okay, another pattern would be if we started with the D formation. And the reason I'm starting on the 2nd fret here is because that's where 2nd position D would be. To hit our 3 primary chords anywhere on the neck. Now using this formation, but you're going to start here, okay? D. Now what we're going to do is move our fingers so that we're going to go into that F formation, but we're going to slide up just 1 fret. So there's our G, and that plus 2 again, A. So D, G, A. Let's pan out a little bit. If we were to start in this G here, same thing. We're going to slide up just 1 fret, but go to that F position, and plus 2, there's the D. G, D, G. That will move all over the neck. That way you're always hitting the 3 chords you need to play. Okay, now we have just one more pattern we can look at. Let's say that we want to start off in this G position here, in the F formation. This one's pretty simple. So you have your G. When you're playing G, we're looking for G, C, and D, so just drop down with that ring finger. There's the C you need, plus 2, D. So we have our G, C, D. Now, as you move around the neck and study these, that really helps you find all of the different locations there are for chords on the neck. If we want to look at G, for example, we have our open. Here's a G. We have a G here. G, G. This really comes in handy when you're playing backup. Just add some nice flavor to the music. So there's just a real brief introduction to movable chords and the patterns you can use anywhere on the neck to be playing the right chords for you.